out there in Cyberland. This is your good buddy Uncle Devil Dashi. For once, I'm not gonna pull a butt wiggle dance, shaky camera, at least not too much, or any of that other, goofy BS that you guys are used to seeing me doing. For once, I'm starting something new with YouTube here. I'm sure I'm not the first person. I'm sure I'm not the last person that'll be doing this. But I'm going to be doing my own little reviews of movies, DVDs, books, etc. That's aimed at you out there, the good people that hold a place in my heart, which is the horror fan. Today I'd like to give my own review of a wonderful new book that just came out last year called Zombie Movies, The Ultimate Guide. The book is written by Glenn Kay with the foreword by renowned horror filmmaker Stuart Gordon. Here against the cover for all you people. Sorry about the glare off the laptop there. But this book reviews just about every zombie film from the 1930s to films from 2008, such as George Romero's Diary of the Dead. Now, a lot of these horror film-based review books are a dime a dozen. They've been around for years, and us fans, especially us nerdy fans, have read them, and a lot of the times they repeat themselves, they step over themselves, they lack information, they don't go to the right sources, they take reviews up in stories from other magazines, older magazines, which, I'll try to avoid saying the names of. We know who they are out there. But this is an awesome book. It's $23 and it's well worth it. Stuart Gordon writes an awesome, if not one of the best forewords to the book that I've ever read. The book is loaded with reviews, interviews with people such as Tom Savini, Greg Nicotero. If I remember right, there's even interviews with Alan Ormsby and Bob Clark, who sadly we lost a little over a year ago. This is what it says on the back of the book. Zombie Movies is an essential purchase for all those who love or fear horror cinema's most popular and terrifying creation. This thorough and authoritative yet uproarious guide has reviews and rates nearly 300 zombie films. A lot of the obscure films like, Toxic Zombies, Zombies from Space, things like that are reviewed, to big budget Hollywood films like 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, which in my personal opinion are not zombie films at all. There's even some colorful pictures in here for you people who don't like to read, so you just want to look at the pretty pictures. You just look at the pretty colored pictures. It reviews a bunch of, foreign horror films, foreign zombie films a lot of people don't know about, don't care about, never even heard of before. And if you have Netflix, you want to get ideas, for obscure movies. Of course, everything winds up on DVD these days. The interviews, now most of the interviews, I'm sure people have heard or read before. I'm sure everybody's heard the same stories that Tom Savini has told over and over again. So yeah, sorry, cigarette time, folks. Don't need it, but if I'm going to talk like this, I might as well smoke. But the book is one of the best books out there for movie fans, especially horror film fans. I was shocked that I enjoyed this book so much. And it's given me ideas for movies that I'd like to see, movies that I thought were long lost. I'm still looking for a definitive edition of the original White Zombie film starring Bela Lugosi. And it even touches upon non-zombie films like the aforementioned 28 Days Later, the Evil Dead series, which, I mean, I'm sorry, folks. To me, those are not zombies. Of course, all of George Romero's films are mentioned, and I'm sorry to admit this. Please do not run a crucifix across my face or a stake through my heart. But I did not like the original Night of the Living Dead. I'm sorry, there's just something about it that I didn't care for. To me, Dawn of the Dead, the original, not this remake, that came out a couple years ago. But I couldn't put this book down. And I still can't stop looking at it. Every time I get an idea for a zombie film that I want to rent or watch, boom, bang, boom, I go to this book. And the book also has an email address for the author, Glenn K., in the front of the book if you want to leave him comments or questions or whatever. And it says that he's also written a book called Disaster Movies, which I recently have, ordered to get my hands on, see if that's any good. On the back there's a quote by Dan O'Bannon, who made Return of the Living Dead, says it best: the definitive guide to zombie movies, rated and reviewed decade by decade for the reader's convenience, a must-read for all zombie scholars. Again, one of the best horror film books about a subgenre of horror films that, in my opinion, still hasn't gotten the respect due to it. I mean, actually, I would like to see Glenn K. do more books like this. I'd like to see him do a definitive slasher movie guide, splatter guide, everything, and everything like that. Hell, even a cannibal movie guide, which I'm sure wouldn't be as thick, because the book, with the appendix and everything, is a total of 342 pages long, which is enough for anybody to read. But then again, that's, of course, if there are people out there who still read, still know how to read, and who like to read. But I've rambled long enough. Again, the book is $22.95. In Canada, it's $25.95. I'm sure if you go to places like Deep Discount or Amazon, House of Mysterious Secrets, where I got the book, you'll find it a lot cheaper. But I tell you, it's well worth the money spent. If you want to get your hands on a kick-ass zombie movie guide, probably the only one in existence, get Zombie Movies, folks. And I highly recommend this book to anyone out there who just really wants to get into and Kay even does his own little thumbs up, thumbs down thing with the scoring of the movies. And, he does a kick-ass job with it. He doesn't pussyfoot around. He doesn't go into a lot of technical bullshit about the makings of the films. He just gets right to the point with the reviews. It basically says, this movie is totally kick-ass or totally sucks donkey dick, and avoid it. And, some movies that I've been wanting to see, or I was curious about seeing, after reading these reviews, I'm pretty much going to avoid now. But anyway, I'm sorry, it doesn't seem like much of a review, but it is my review of the book. Take it for what it is, or whatever. Y'all don't like it, y'all can kiss my ass. But again, it's a great book, and I highly recommend it to zombie and horror film fans everywhere. Again, this is Devil Josh. Hope you enjoyed this little review. Peace and hair grease.